Welcome, everybody. Really excited to have you. We have the wonderful Armichi.
Close enough. Armichi.
Armichi is here to talk about integrated Japanese therapy. So let's get into it. Welcome to our podcast today.
Yeah, thank you for receiving me.
Yes, it's such a pleasure to have you here. So would you like to talk a little bit about yourself, how you got into, your Japanese integrated therapy? It sounds really intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Well, for us, it's quite a journey. I come from Tenerife, from the Canary Islands in Spain. So I've been now 15 years in England living. The reason I came is because of back in the day when the credit crunch, there was no jobs and I needed something to survive, basically. So at the end, I came to England. One thing that I managed to keep is the martial arts. I practice a martial art called Bujinkan Budo Taijutsu, which is basically traditional Japanese martial arts. I started in 2000, so I was already, when I came here in 2010, I was already a black belt, etc. But I kept doing that. This is relevant because from that martial art, parallel to it, the same masters in Japan, Hatsumi Sensei, is also the master of the medicine. Mm-hmm. Okay, in that time it was called like Amatsu Tatara. Okay, so it was always parallel to each other. So sometimes you see a bit here and a bit there, like a bit of massage here, a bit of a shoulder release, because maybe that day we were training something, but never was able to see the whole thing. Before that, in terms of healing, there was always an interest in me in natural remedies because from my mom family tradition is always with herbs, infusions, like having chamomile for this or valerian for that, things like that. So always an interest in natural remedies and healing there. Apart from that, also massages. I remember with my middle brother, I got two older brothers, so the middle one got into massage. I was also a bit interested on it, but never quite follow up. It was always a bit here and a bit there, but nothing serious. And then I ended here in Shropshire, like living in Bridgnorth for a while. While training martial arts, it resulted that the teacher here knew one of the few Westerners that learned the Japanese medicine properly. Yeah. So this master in Japan only taught 3 Westerners, 2 from England, 1 from Ireland. And they are the real successors, let's say. They continue. Others have learned bits and bobs there, but those are like the 3 official ones. My martial teacher here was close friend with one of them. He did the training fully, so it's a 3 years training, and then another guy, and then I was the third one in the dojo saying, okay, let's go. Because obviously while he was studying and getting certified, he was sharing it with us. So each time we're like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's good. Oh, I feel better after having that done to me on myself. So obviously when you see the results on yourself, you say, oh, this is something good here. And after that, I decided to do it, and here I am now after 3 years training, and I've been now 4 years certified with full time on it.
Wow, amazing. So if somebody wanted to come and see you, what type of people tend to come that you treat or you take care of or support?
Yeah, strictly speaking, I can't see anyone. Okay, I don't have any specific thing that I specialize or anything. In general, the thing I see the most, because the thing is more common in nowadays, is back pain, shoulder pain, and things like that. Movement, when it's limited the movement, like a shoulders or twisted hips and things like that. But basically, a majority of people come with back pains and shoulder pains. Then we got another level of more towards stress related, or what we say internal medicine, like more the when there's pain inside, like hormone balancing, stress, migraines, things like that is also the main thing I see basically whatever comes through the door we can address.
So you're saying a majority of people with pain, stress, and internal problems.
Basically, is especially physical pain is obvious, no? So I got something in pain. I try to get it sorted, but then although when you explain the connection, people say, "Oh, yeah, that's true," but sometimes they don't see it straight away, which is when something like stress is causing physical issues. The mind-body connection. So you are stressed, your shoulders start tightening, your neck start aching, and your position start changing into a way that is causing physical pain. So it's all and what we do is through the physical, we also address the mental bit, the energy. When people are low in energy, etc., it all reflects.
You're looking at the whole holistic picture of what might be contributing.
One of the main ideas is rebalance. It's all about rebalancing the whole body. Sometimes, even if somebody comes with wrist pain or elbow pain, you think, oh, that's just the arm and that's it. We still look at the whole body to see what's wrong, what could be connected, and realigned everything I should be.
What, in your opinion, why do you think a lot of people are in pain and are stressed?
Okay, so that would be more like a question for my sociology background when I went to uni. Basically, I think we have now such busy lives. We go to work, we go this, and we have less and less time to relax. We are always connected. We are always with the smartphones, etc. It's always something going on. Before, if you went to the cinema, that means 2 hours you were completely untouchable. You were there, that's it. Nobody could contact you, and you couldn't contact anyone. You could watch the movie, and that's it. Now we don't have that luxury unless you literally put the mobile away, and etc. Which who actually does that? Not many people. We get so much into this busy life that we don't realize that wasn't like that 20 years ago, 15, even 10, because you couldn't be that connected as we are now. And apart from that, then posture. Posture is like we as human beings are not designed to be sat for 7, 8, 10 hours. That's what people happens to do either in office environment, or if you got a more physical job, then you go home and watch TV for 6 hours, sat on the sofa. I'm talking very generally here. I know there are people more active, etc. But in general, that's what I see. When I see people that back pain, I start asking, okay, what do you do? Do you do any exercise? No. Do you do what job you do? I'm in an office. It's funny because sometimes office job and jobs like carers are the opposite, are moving and standing a lot. They got similar issues because the body is not used to either to be standing for too long or to be sat for too long. We are designed to move around. To move, you sit a bit and then keep walking, keep moving.
Yeah. Do you think it's quite interesting listening to you, because it's a combination of things that I'm hearing of people being completely disconnected to their self, and when they're disconnected and don't have that self-awareness, that's when we ignore the signs of the emotions, and then they manifest into these physical problems. So in your opinion, for people that are listening, how can they become more aware of themselves? How can they feel or get more connected with themselves so they can kind of sense or nip it in the butt before it actually becomes something quite extreme?
It's a matter of awareness, as you say. You need to listen to the body. The body knows more than you think.
Yes.
Sometimes we ignore it, and sometimes we intentionally say, no, I need to carry on. I need to do, I need to move on. I got kids to do this. I got, work. I got this and that. But we need time. We all have the same 24 hours. We all do. So you need to allocate the time a bit more wisely in a way of, okay, do I have 10 minutes for just sitting down and think, or just sit down and look at what you have to do in the day, but just sitting down instead of run.
Yeah, almost doing like a scan, maybe.
Almost, yeah. Like.
And sitting and do you know what? Actually, this morning, I was house sitting at somebody's house, and had no distractions, and I actually didn't have the TV on. I made myself a herbal tea, and I put some music on, and I actually sat still, completely still. And it was so peaceful, and I was able to kind of really home into how I was feeling. Like, how am I feeling today? And it kind of set me up for the rest of the day, because I actually feel great. And I think it's really important what you've said. It's really important to, because we hear that often. People say, I haven't got time. But actually, you have got time. It depends if it's a priority, isn't it, really?
It's a matter of how you use that time.
Yeah, and even if it's a few minutes a day to train your mind, and by doing that, actually, you could be preventing something from getting worse.
It's like
and then you would be out of a job, and we don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. At the end.
No, but actually,
their goal.
It's actually good to probably come and see you as I always call it an MOT.
Yeah. I call it the same, funny enough.
You call it an MOT as well, because what we do when things get worse, that's when we react, and we should be more preventative of putting things in place. So having a monthly MOT so we can keep things.
That's the thing. What we talk about, it's like Tony Robbins said. He said, if you don't have 10 minutes, you have no life. So you really need to.
That is a really good thing.
Got no life.
Did you hear that, everybody? If you don't have 10 minutes, you have no life.
I think, then, and in those 10 minutes, do whatever is suitable for you. Because sometimes meditation is not for everyone. Some people prefer breath work, and sometimes as easy as you don't. Have a tea, herbal or no, just have a tea and sit down in the silence. And even hear yourself like, how do I breathe? Can I hear my heartbeat? You could hear it if you listen good enough. If you are, it's that kind of thing. If you feel that you're breathing up here, no, try to lower, to go down, etc. As I said, if you don't have 10 minutes, then you really seriously need to go.
Yeah,
okay.
I really like
something
that.
Wrong here.
Yeah. So what do you do for your own ritual or practice?
I go it again comes from the martial arts and the medicine. It's I do a routine. It's basically a head to toe rebalance. So I get the body first. It's like brushing the body along the acupuncture channels, the meridians. And then you tap them, and then it's a bit of acupressure point, a bit like the EFT.
Yeah. The tapping.
The tapping freedom energy. What is it? Freedom technique. Is it?
Yes.
And tapping is based on that. And then it's like physically just release every joint, head to toe.
You do this on yourself?
Yeah.
Every day?
And it's what I do when I go to events, little workshops. It's what I show. You can self-treat yourself.
Yes.
That's the first thing. Because in martial arts, people just see the fights and this and that. Yeah. We always talk about 3 levels of martial art. One is defend yourself, but it's not just defend yourself against somebody attacking you. It's also look after yourself.
Yes.
That's why it's the fighting, let's say, but it's also the stretching, it's also the breathing, it's also the self-care. Like, how's your body? How self-awareness? How's your body? Can you move the shoulder? Can you move the hip? And all those things.
Can I tie my shoelaces?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on? And sometimes with the tapping, you also, because it's in different points, different channels, etc. When one is like tender, it's telling you something. That's what I meant before. Listen to your body. It's like, why suddenly this point here is aching when yesterday wasn't? If you got a routine, then you know when it's not, when it's something going on or not. But if you don't, it's one day, that's tender, whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's really important to have taking 10 minutes out and having a check-in with your body. It's really important. It's so simple, and it doesn't cost anything. And 10 minutes of your life to do that actually could prevent you from going down a rabbit hole with any kind of stress.
And you go into the the slide of things to do, this and this and that, and then things come onto you and you don't know what's going on.
Absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit about the Chinese Chinese. No, that is a takeaway. Japanese. Japanese integrated medicine. So can we talk a little bit about the history of like what is that for people that are listening?
Basically, this originally was from China, etc. So it went to Japan, and basically is the situation that was very common in ancient time, where martial artists, if they reach too old, normally many of them became healers or doctors or things like that, because after all those years of martial arts, fighting and having injuries themselves, injuring other people, they learn about the body. They learn about the body, they learn about healing the body, about looking at it. And then this a specific background here, which is this come from a ninja tradition, a shinobi tradition, which shinobis were agents, like secret agents, let's say. You see the movies with, fighting this and that. More than that, it was more like information gatherers. They were more into knowing what's going on in different areas. So sometimes they were deployed, let's say, to a village in whatever valley in Japan. And the best way to hide yourself was as a doctor, because there were traveling doctors back in the day. So they would go village by village, gathering information, because people go to you, this is my cousin is going here, this is going there, this is happening, so they know what's going on. Probably, and because they were traveling doctors, they also would find out movement of troops and things like that, or this lord is building a castle here that wasn't there last year. And by acting as a doctor, they were also doctors themselves. So it became so that is then training that would bring back to the clan to look. I learned about this herb in this place. I learned about this position here for releasing this movement, and it's kind of.
Oh, so they would go out and gather.
Yeah, and gather, and apart from what they learn and then obviously that gets transmitted generation, and talk about hundreds of years here. And obviously by the time it got to basically this Japanese master is still alive, and Hasumi Sensei, his master, gather the different schools from one from the grandfather, one from, it's like all family connection, and that kind of transmitted up to us. So there's a lot of things that we do where if I do in a dojo of martial art, it would hurt the person, but if I do in a therapy room, it actually fixes the person. The same movement, it's just what intensity or what intention you got behind. So what you do for a shoulder release, let's say, is also a shoulder lock.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because the movement is the same. It's just that extra bit. Well, if I want to hurt, I go this way. But if I want to heal, I go that way. But it's the same one.
Wow. So it's that duality of both of them working together.
It's very yin-yang. It's very yin-yang. If you go one way, it damages the person. You go the other way, it heals the person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that line there. You need to know where to go.
Discipline.
That's why having the martial arts and then doing the medicine gives you both sides of the.
Okay. So that's a little bit about sort of the history of the Japanese, not Chinese. So talk me through like your actual practice of, what you would do when people, do you incorporate herbs, or is it
at
just
the moment,
physical?
Basically, it's more physical, let's say. We also go, if somebody comes to me, basically it's a routine where we go remember I mentioned before, on my own self-dream, I go head to toe, but I do the same to the person.
Yes.
But I do it to them. Basically because the person doesn't know, so I help the person to do that. So we go the head, the shoulders, the back, etc. So got everything putting back into place, basically.
Yes.
Sometimes you get a bit of cracking here, there. Doesn't need to happen. Because,
yes.
Some people think the cracking is good. It depends on the person's flexibility normally.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to crack or not. It happens. Sometimes what I look for is the correction. Is if I notice some place is something more tender than the other one or tighter, because you feel it. There's a lot of palpation. It's not something automatic. You go with the fingertips and go feeling, okay, there's something here. Sometimes you feel, a vertebrae is higher than one side than the other side of the column. Sometimes the shoulder is a bit higher than the other one. So you try to rebalance the body completely there.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting that you can have a shoulder that is out of line, right? And because that affects your meridian lines, it will then have a knock-on effect on the organs and anything out of the body. Is that right?
It happens, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For example, about even another level. Imagine you have bad news, etc. You have grief in your body.
Yes.
What happens when you have grief in your body physically? Your breathing becomes a bit shallow.
Yes.
No, and your shoulders come forward, and you go.
Yes.
And then those shoulder forwards are compressing the lungs. No, and you don't have as much air as you used to. All those things are, like you said, knockdown effect. Funny enough, the lung channel connects to grief.
Yes, that's right.
Is emotion attached to it. When you overthink, you go worry, is the stomach and the digestive system. You get that knot on the stomach where you are thinking a lot about something.
Yeah.
If you got fear, it's on the kidneys. Kidneys and bladder. What happens? You got too much fear. What you lose control of.
Yeah.
You be yourself.
I find this really fascinating. Often I have conversations with people and they go, my lungs are really hurting me, and I then straight away, if you had any grief or, if somebody talks about a body part, I'm straight away asking a question. And sometimes people look at me and go, no, it's just my knee hurts. My lungs are just hurting. It's nothing to do with that. But actually it is, isn't it? Because if we're in a place of balance and we're feeling really great within ourselves, we shouldn't really experience any pain, right? I know there's genetic stuff that can affect the body. But I think it's really important that we should ask ourselves self-inquiry. Why do I keep having this reoccurring pain in this knee? Why do I keep having this stomach issue? It's not just because, I've got a stomach issue. It's the emotion. Could you explain this to people that
a friend of
perhaps
mine who also does this told me about one case. It's like this guy had the eyes a bit yellow, the white
yellowy eyes,
yellowy eyes, and then it was like, my liver, this and that, and that. He went to her. Do you get angry often? And what's that? Do you get angry? Actually, yes. Your angry and liver are connected.
Yeah.
So, and he was having the physical pain and the yellow eyes due to a liver imbalance. Things like that.
It's so fascinating.
And it's funny. I find really funny when I ask, one of the questions I ask normally, okay, how much pain would you say you are? I say 1 to 10 or just let them open. Some people go, the normal. And I go, the normal is 0. You should not have any pain. That's the normal. Having pain is not normal.
It is, yeah, you're absolutely right. And we are a nation we normalize that pain is okay.
And we think that with aging, it's normal to have more and more and more. You don't have to. If you keep active, the nutrition is another big thing. It's, if not one of the most important, is nutrition. If you keep eating rubbish or what you shouldn't be eating, obviously it's not going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. Sometimes people come to me, but they don't want to change the habits in nutrition. It's like, well, we are going to continue coming.
Yeah.
Do you think I am better? Yeah, you're better now. But as soon you go out and you're having a cake or something sugary, it comes up because the inflammation comes up, the pain comes up, and there's so much I can do in that aspect.
Yeah,
that's why that self-awareness. So it's not. I always defend that what I try is this is a journey. We are both. If you are my client, we are both in it. So I kind of assist you, in the ultimate instant. I don't want you to need me.
Yeah.
I lose the client
It's like
in the long term.
Nanny
But
McPhee.
hopefully you recommend me and somebody else will come. But in the ideally what I want you to get to a point you don't need me. But we are here together until you get to that point. And obviously to get to that point, you need to be aware of what's going on. And it's not just, help me, fix me, and then I do whatever I want. It's like, well, if you do whatever you want and you don't do the correct thing, you will come back.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? But I guess people, they come to you and you will support them, educate them, you'll put the body back in line. But as soon as they go out the door, if they don't take on board what you've said,
do the homework,
or do their homework, or make their changes, they're just going to go round on a loop. You know, in your opinion, how as a practitioner, in what way could you perhaps support people more to make those changes?
Well, basically it's following up with the advice. So at the end of the day, things like nutrition is very simple, but it's not easy.
No.
In a way of nutrition is as simple as no sugars in any form. And is it easy? No, because they are putting sugar absolutely everywhere, even in bread.
Sugar's everywhere.
Things like that. Exactly. To really go into not having it, you really need to make an effort. It's not just, okay, I have this. And no, you need to look at the ingredient. Why bread has sugar? Things like that. It should be just water, flour, yeast, and salt. That's it. That's bread. Yeah, it goes off in a few days. Well, that's what it used to happen.
Yeah.
A bread lasting weeks and weeks without getting off. It's like, it's not normal. All these preservatives and all of that. So we talk about sugars, basic ultra processed foods, in general, and this is not just takeaways. It's anything that is like, where the list of ingredients is so big that you don't recognize what you're eating, kind of thing. But basically all this food industry stuff. And then after that, we can talk about, okay, what's more towards your type of body. Like, some people are more reactive to this, and that's like a deeper level. But if you don't get the first two right, there's no point on going into, okay, is it chickpeas affecting you? Doesn't matter because you're having sugar. So that's the main one.
Yeah.
At the beginning. And then we can also talk about what exercises is good for you, what routine is good for you. I got people asking me sometimes, do you recommend meditation? Do you recommend, in one hand, you need to find your own thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
In my case, for example, I'm at the moment, a moment of life, I need more exercise. I can tell. But it's like trying this and that. And yeah, it's good exercise, but it doesn't resonate with me. That I don't look forward to it. So at the end, you need to find that. For example, I struggle with meditation myself because my mind is busy. I don't get to the point, which is the whole point of meditation, to get to the point of that. I find breath work easier.
Yeah.
Because you count and you do this, 4 this way, 6 this, whatever exercise you do. I find that easy because then after a while, the mind stops counting, you just do it.
Yeah, so it's finding what works for you, but you've got to have the awareness to start with. And also you've got to have the right mindset. You've got to want to make a change, You
need to find a reason for it that is compelling enough for you to carry on.
Yeah.
Not just, I had to do this. Like a duty. No, don't see it as a duty. See it as a need. It's, I must do this.
I call it the switch, because I think it reaches to a point, because it doesn't matter how many people tell you, you need to be eating this, you need to be doing that. You're in control of your body. And I think the switch goes off, doesn't it? There's like some people have this switch where it just goes, I've got to stop doing this.
What is sad sometimes is people need to have like a scare, like something frightening to get to that point. That's kind of one message I would like. Don't wait for that, which is what we were talking before. Like, you are busy, you ignore all those signals that the body is sending you. The migraine one day, or as you said, the knee, and this and that and that. Those are signals. And if or you do one thing and then, oh my God, my back after doing this is supposed to be good, but it was like a long walk. Why is aching when a long walk? We are designed to walk. Why is aching? Things like that. And then you've got a massive problem, you end in A&E or whatever, and like then it's well, the problem is because by the time you get to that point, it could be too late.
Exactly.
Too late to get to a point where you could be completely free of pain.
Exactly.
You know, if you spend 20 extra years since the first signal of, oh, there's something wrong here, you spend every 20 more years like not taking action to sort it out, then obviously you got 20 years to work, you know,
Exactly.
of layers
Yeah.
of damage to work on.
Our body is talking to us constantly. So are we listening? Are you listening to your body? So let's talk about a little bit. Do you incorporate the elements of like fire, water? Do you work with the elements with the work that
they are related anyway? So what we were talking before about the emotion and the channel, let's say, you know, the kidney, this and that and that. There's also an element into it, and there's also an element into the martial arts. So at the end, it's all interlinked.
Yeah.
So martial art, which I also have done as a bit like an exercise in the morning. It's a routine, like some movement. A bit like Tai Chi, let's say, but adapted to it's like a solo training where you do the elements. You do earth, you do water, etc., etc. Then translate into the medicine where when you get, for example, let's say you got pain and inflammation in the body.
Yeah.
That is heat in the body, okay? And you use earth, the element of earth, to calm it down, to control it. No water, you use earth first, and then water is when you got the regulation not right, like the liquid, you know, the water retention and things like that. You use water to move it properly.
Okay.
And it's all a circle of one controls, one promotes the other one. One promotes it. So if I go in order, it would be earth promotes metal, because the earth contains the metal. Metal promotes water, because when the metal condensate, where the air concentrate, get the water dripping. Water controls, in this case, in the medicine, is wood. Okay. Then wood promotes fire. That's quite that. And then fire promotes earth, the ashes, when they burn, when the wood burns.
There's like a whole cycle.
So it's that, and it's also that in one way promotes, in another way they control each other, they stop. So when one is flaring a lot, the other one controls, and it's all about. So that's in the, for example, in the acupuncture side of it, we see that a lot.
You work with the elements. So can somebody have too much earth, too much fire element?
It can happen, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a story to tell. Like, for example, the element in fire, the emotion linked to it is joy. And you're saying, well, how can be, too much joy be a problem? Yeah, well, there's a story that an emperor, I don't know if in Japan or China, one of these stories.
We can do both.
Yeah. One emperor actually died of laughing too much.
Really?
Yeah. So too much joy, the heart couldn't take it.
No way.
Because fire is related to heart.
Is this a true story?
I mean, it's one of those.
Oh, one of those kind of, yeah.
It's a myth, or it's based in true story. So maybe we can say based in true story, and then.
I'd love that to be on my tombstone.
Yeah.
Harry died because
of too much joy.
Because of too much.
It's not common. I mean, it's not common, but it can happen. Too much joy. Have there been cases of people watching comedy and having a heart attack? Isn't it? It's like,
yeah,
it may happen.
Wow, that's interesting. Because I've got horses, and I used to have a lady come out, and she did shiatsu on my horse, which was absolutely amazing. And she worked with the elements, and she said that my horse is a fire element. He's got a lot of fire within, and that's why he would struggle with the damp weather and the wet, and he actually gets very moody when he's, is it kind of the same? I mean, you just mentioned if somebody comes in with too much inflammation, that means they've got too much fire element.
It's heat.
Too much heat.
Heat, yeah.
Okay.
We could be related. When we say fire, it's when people have like a mental stress and like something. It's difficult sometimes to put a border between one thing and the other one. So it's a lot of mental stress in a way of like a sudden loss, but you're not in the grief moment, like more in the angry moment of that. But it depends. It's also the control of the blood. So it kind of it depends on how that. But I said normally one person doesn't have one thing only.
It's a combination.
It's a combination or relation. So in a medicine, there's another thing apart from elements is the 4 or 5 things that can damage the body. So it's traditionally like the heat, cold, dryness, dampness, and then wind. Wind is kind of when, for example, have you ever had a pain that moves? So one day you got a shoulder in ache, and then it's here, and then it's there. It's like...
Well, I'm in a place of balance, so I don't have that problem. Not for a while, but yeah.
When you go those things that changing.
Yeah.
That's wind. But then cold, heat, too dry, too damp.
I suffer from dampness now.
It's very common, dampness.
Especially this time of year. And I'm always looking to try and heat my body up. So my body doesn't, my body loves dry heat, and I'm aware of that dampness in my body, and I get like this cough. So I always look to have like herbal tinctures to try and work with that as well, because I can kind of sense that within my body. So it's really...
Yeah, one of the questions I'm asking now is how is the change of season treating you?
Because the change of season.
Because it is a change. It is a big change. You start like suddenly, you got this in between. One day is nice, one day is not, one day is... And you get wet, but it's not dry enough to later to... not too hot to dry later, so you keep damp for longer in the jacket or whatever. You need to be careful in this when it's
people don't,
because when it's proper winter, that's it. It's winter, you get ready, go. But when it's in between, it's like you don't know. Shall I put this jacket or that one? These shoes or those shoes? So it's like you need to be aware again of what's going on around you. So it's like the environment.
Okay. Can you give some examples of that? Because I was just about to say, I always talk to people about change of seasons and how they can affect the body. And isn't it funny how everybody becomes ill when you're moving from the end of the summer into the autumn, and people become ill. And I was always taught that your immune system starts to drop because the body's adjusting to the change of season. And that's why sometimes people become ill. And it's the same with my horses. They have to grow their winter coat, their immune system drops. So I always say to people, this is the best time to supplement yourself or have a look at the food. You can't have cold salads now. Because how it affects the body. Is this what you're talking about, being aware of the change of seasons and how it can affect you?
One thing that modern life has brought us is kind of, you go to the supermarket and everything is the same all year round. There is no seasonal food as such. There are bits and bobs, but really you can get courgettes any time of year, but butternut squash every time. And really, that's not really how it used to be.
No.
I remember back in the day, me being from Tenerife, so more or less you get everything all year round because the weather is more stable. But I'm sure here wasn't. You would have pumpkin now, with all the Halloween and stuff. But I find always funny with the pumpkin, it's only in Halloween when you see it, when it's such a good vegetable to have in soups and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And then people don't use it. They just use the decoration and then throw it away. It's like, why? Now it's a pumpkin stew. It's basically, or soup. It's basically good for this time of year. Something warm, something nutritious, and it's the correct season for it. And talking about the change from summer, you go from summer. Normally it's dry season, hit long hours of light. To the opposite, to the change of fewer hours each time, and now it's getting worse and worse and worse in terms of that. So your vitamin D is going to be compromised. For example, your hours of exposure to the sun is going to be, and all of those things. And also, you go harvest of some things, but then you need to think about these things are going to be preserved in some way. That's why there were jams back in the day. Pickles, brine, things in brine to get through the winter. So you would stop eating what you were eating in summer, as you said, cold salad in summer, brilliant. Now, not so good now, because you need something warm to keep that warmth inside of you. Because then when you get a proper cold and you keep eating cold, then you have the problem of, excess of cold. We can generate the dampness, and then we go again here and there.
You've just answered my question, because I remember talking to a friend saying, we shouldn't be having salads now. She says, what do you mean? I said, it's cold. It's not good for your body. And she says, well, actually, I want a salad. Do you think it does depend on your body type, or actually, if we were to eat more in tune with the cycles and actually not having the smoothies and the coldness, then that would be contributing to potentially excess damp in your body?
Yeah, but basically dampness in Western civilization is one of the main problems. It's mostly related to nutrition for the same reasons. So, but it's not just what is a cold salad or no, it's also all this processed food that we have now available. Okay, people just eat and the same things, and put in a microwave and done, that kind of thing. So we do eat too much carbs, for example, in that aspect. Well, before it was like a side thing, and now sometimes it's the main thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, then we got discussions, because you go to Italy and they have pasta every day. I've been there with Italian people, and they literally eat pasta every day.
Yes. And
that's a lot of carbs, that. But researching a bit about it, it results that apparently in Italy they preserve the grains, the original grains they were always using, the wheat. So their pasta is healthier than the one we have here.
Of course, yeah.
So it's so complex sometimes, and I understand when people get fed up of, I'm supposed to be eating healthy, like you said, salads and a smoothie, but it's because it's more complex than that. It's not just eat this for the rest of your life. It's like it depends also, as you said before, it depends on your body. Some metabolisms are different. I'm for example, I'm from the Spanish background. My metabolism is a bit different than my wife, who's English. And we sometimes something is fine for me is bloat her.
Yeah.
And things like that. And could be just a personal difference for whatever genetics you go, let's say.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's my metabolism that from my family. It's like I remember one anecdote. It was quite funny. One of these questions on TV about what's the most common blood type. My wife and I both answer at the same time, and I say A plus or A positive, and she said, is it O negative or O positive here? Basically, we were both right, but in Spain, it's A positive, the most common, while here is another one.
Oh, okay.
Something as simple as that, and that could, determine a lot of, or make a big difference in things like what you eat or what you don't eat, or how affects me, how affects you in that aspect. And another one is this acupuncture teacher. She mentions the same. She was really one of the gym freaks, completely into, she was also a teacher of, I don't remember, aerobic or something about going to the gym, super skinny, and salad smoothie. And when she was studying acupuncture, one of the Chinese teachers looked at her and said, you need to eat meat. Stop eating salad. You don't have to eat like that. I was like, what? I'm eating healthy, but she had a lot of problems, physical, health problems, because you're eating cold food all the time.
Yeah.
You need the opposite. In his case, obviously, probably got listeners are vegetarians or vegans. That's a different discussion. But sometimes,
that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's like you don't just eating the same thing all the time, all year round. The environment changes with it, so you are not isolated from it.
Absolutely.
There's 5 aspects in health in what I do. 5 aspects. One is the physical, so the actual body, the mind, mental health, energy, because people in Reiki, etc. Then there's another one is sometimes it's translated as chemistry, but basically it's nutrition, what you eat. But the 5th one, as some people tend to forget, is environment. But environment is not just this room is around us. It's also the people you're surrounded, the connections you got, the social bit of things. So it's kind of all of those 5 elements can affect the overall health. So you need to bear in mind what's going on. And sometimes with that, I look at people like, yeah, I can help you with it, but actually, because of the mind, let's say, go to this person. Or nutrition, I got a good friend, he's a herbologist, go to this to complement with what I'm doing.
And that's why it's so important that we have to look at the bigger picture. We have to look at these different elements, because even though we've got knee pain, we can then go, well, I've just got knee pain. Okay, well, let's go really into it. It's almost like you have to be an investigator. What's your environment, because the environment may be really stressful and emotional, and knees are linked actually for moving forward, and we hold a lot of emotions in our knees as well. So, and people don't really think about this, and I'm a great believer is when you do acknowledge one of those elements when you play detective, sometimes your symptoms actually reduce, or because you acknowledge the body wants to be heard, it wants to be listened to. So it's just so fascinating.
Yeah, sometimes it happens that I'm treating somebody and you have let's say really tight on the neck, really tight, and try to easy. So just sat on it, put the fingers behind the neck and just relax and let go, and then feeling that tightness and go with it, and then when you release it, you can hear the person. And suddenly they get emotional because it was that emotion, it was stuck there. A mental emotion, let's say, it was physically causing that neck pain. And sometimes with releasing that, the tears come out because it finally is all out.
I know. And this is when you have an emotion, if you don't express it, honor it, or release it, where's it going to go? It's going to find the weakest part of the body. Also, if you've got a genetic you've inherited something like bad knees, it will go to the weakest, vulnerable part of the body, and it will fester in there until it gets your attention for you to
and sometimes with the genetics, it's not always an excuse like that. Oh, my father had this. Okay, why your father and your grandfather and about that had it? Because there's some family trauma going on sometimes. They transmit that, and they got the physical manifestation of that problem that is here.
Yeah.
If you manage to stop that, then you don't need to be exactly determined by it. So it's all about that self-awareness and like, what do you want to do with it?
Exactly. Wow. We're actually coming to the end.
Oh,
Can you believe that? Just goes so quick. So obviously, before we start to wrap things up, for people that have been listening to you and they want to come and see you, where can they find you? What other work are you doing?
Okay, so at the moment, right now, I'm in Wellington, at the Vanity Room in Wellington. So if you want to find me, would be the best way is either in Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, we'll put all your details in there.
Good. So it's Sanshin Health. It would be SANSHIN.
Okay.
Which means 3 hearts. 3 hearts. So it's a bit like body, mind, spirit.
Yes.
Kind of a trilogy. And I am there like Tuesday to Saturday, so I do offer quite a big range for people to come.
Yeah.
And normally what I do is, if you contact me, and we have a first consultation with a first treatment, like a bit like a taster, but it's for me also to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
So have a general idea, and then after that we can discuss any treatment plan or anything towards the future of that. Apart from that, I normally go to events. There's nothing now for the rest of the year, but go to holistic events normally and offer like treatments that you can talk to me directly. Sometimes workshops like the self routine, the self treatment I do. Although I am now planning to do things more like day workshops where we can go a bit deeper in all of this. Also show people how to do stuff to each other, let's say couples or friends that they want to help each other.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, because recently I have finished a training about being a teacher of what I do, the Japanese integrated medicine. So I now taking or designing what to do with it. It's kind of that.
Yeah.
So my idea is to have people that I can train to, and then spread this, because we are just a small handful of people doing this in the country that it needs to get out.
Yeah.
The way I see it is to be a bridge between people and their best health possible. And obviously, there's so much I can do individually.
Yeah.
So we like to spread it and maybe have retreats and things like that, where we can go a bit deeper and hopefully get students that people are truly interested in doing this as a living.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing because you're supporting people to give them more awareness about their body and building a better relationship so they can prevent stress and pain in the future. Mm-hmm. Have you got any wise words that you would like to finish off anybody that's listening?
Oh, basically is one thing I would say is take the time for listening to yourself and then find ways to get better according to that. So if you feel one day it's a headache, one day could be a knee pain going back, or a feeling a bit sad, whichever that those different aspects. Okay, address it, as you said before, address it, embrace it, and do something with it.
Yeah, amazing.
Reach out.
Reach out. Well, thank you so much.
No,
it's been really insightful. And thank you for being here.
All right, thank you very much for inviting me.